I'm joined by Amanda Gilroy, the OJHL Trainer of the Year this year, athletic therapist for the Whitby Fury. Amanda, talk about how you started in this league.
So I started back in 2007. I was in second year of school and there was a job opportunity because one of the trainers was leaving on an extended honeymoon and wedding. So I just got asked to kind of fill in for her, and ever since then I've never really looked back. I started that back with the Ajax attack.
Now, what attracted you to the OJHL specifically?
I knew I wanted to do sports. Back when I first started, I actually didn't know what sport I wanted to do. So I had tried a little bit of soccer, a little bit of football, and then when I took the job with Ajax, I just fell in love with the whole environment and like the respect you get from the coaches, the players, and just how everyone becomes such a close-knit team.
Now, when you were working with the Pickering Panthers, you were the OHA Trainer of the Year back in 2011-2012. Now that you've recently won this award, what do you think has your approach changed to your position now?
Back then, I actually feel like I didn't know half of what I knew now. So back then, my approach was always to be the sponge. So whenever there was a trainer around or an equipment guy or anyone that I could take anything from, I always tried to take all the little bits and pieces to make myself better. So as much as I've learned, I'm still continuing to do that, just to grow every single day, to get a little bit better at my job.
What do you wish players knew before they perhaps get into the OJHL, but also in dealing with athletic therapists?
A lot of the players I find don't ever have a female trainer before. So just knowing that there might be a female trainer in the room, and it's not something new. We're all here just doing our exact same job, so whether it's a male athletic therapist, a female athletic therapist, we're all out to do the same thing to get them better and help them be the best that they can be.
Yeah, we were talking earlier before this, there's well over 7 teams out of 22 in the OJHL that have female trainers on staff or in their medical department. How do you think the relationship between female trainers and the OJHL is going to change in the future?
I think there's probably going to end up being a lot more females take over the OJHL. This year, even at the prospect game, that was the All-Star game back in November, all 4 of the trainers on the medical side were all female. And then all of the equipment staff were all male. So it's just becoming more of a balanced league, I find, with female to male ratios.
Now, how do you find yourself received either with the players you're working with or just the coaching staff in general through different teams?
I find a lot of respect, actually. A lot of the players, now that I've been in the league for so long, they know who I am, whether they're on the Wellington Dukes or another team. They all have kind of seen me in and around the arena. So I find it doesn't matter where I am, whether it's the All-Star Games or even like a Team Canada selection camp, I get the same respect. In my room, I definitely find, no matter what I say, my coaches trust every decision. So if there's a kid that needs to sit, whether it's one of our top line guys or a 4th liner, same goes for all the players.
Now, when you look at your players in your rosters and the injuries or whether they have injuries or not, how do you schedule and perhaps maintain each of those specialized needs?
Well, some of them are in school, so those ones, obviously, if there's anyone that's injured that's in school, they'll be seen after practice or after school. And then I find a lot of the older guys I'll actually have come in earlier so that they don't have to stay later after practice.
What's the biggest misconception you think about athletic therapists right now?
I don't think a lot of people truly know exactly what we do. Like, a lot of people think, it's just that emergency in the field. They don't realize the amount of treatment or, like right now, like hydration, nutrition. They don't realize how much we know about all of that, where we can help the players be better and more prepared and recover a little bit faster just with some of the knowledge that we do have.
What's one of the most common things you've seen or you've had to perhaps teach the players this season from a medical standpoint?
Proper warm-up. Yeah, so I find warm-up's the big thing. They all kind of come in and think that they know what they need to do, but they all just want to, play a little sewer ball, which is keep up with soccer. And they don't really realize how important that dynamic warm-up is before the game. So adding, just going and kind of checking to make sure they're doing everything properly, it's made a big difference with our whole team the whole year.
Now, what are you specifically looking at when you see them in practice?
Just like range of motion, how they're skating. In practice, you can tell, like if there's a guy with tight hips, you can see it just in their stride. So their stride will be a lot shorter. Or if they're hesitant, kind of going into a battle drill in practice, you just kind of touch base and see if there's anything going on upper body-wise.
So as an athletic therapist, what do you want people to know that are perhaps just graduating or thinking about heading into this avenue of the sport?
There's just so many open doors. As an athletic therapist, whether you're male or female, getting in with a team is an option, but you can also work in clinics. Like I do own my own clinic up in Uxbridge. So I kind of do both. I find it's a good balance for me. Whereas there are some athletic therapists who will work strictly just with a team.
What's the best part of your day?
Coming to the rink, working with the guys. Yeah, even if you're having a bad day, they'll joke around and just cheer you up.
And speaking of hits, I mean, we've seen a bit of a rougher series for sure, but you and Leo Toffemar are both in Wellington. We've seen you guys be very direct and really watching the players on either team, really. What are you looking at during those quiet moments when perhaps you're not busy tending to players?
Just watching to make sure, like, you know, if there is that big hit, watching to see eyes, body language. If there's anything just abnormal or off with your players, just to touch base and see if there is anything going on. Because it is playoffs, so they do want to play, and the players will lie to you about little things, so you always have to be one step ahead of them.
From a paperwork standpoint, when you are pulling players and treating players, is there anything that the OJHL requires you to do on a medical standpoint?
No, there's nothing they require us to do. However, as an athletic therapist, we do have to document and keep everything. So I've got full charts of all the treatments that I've done on the players, or if I've pulled a player out of play, I have why. And typically, depending on what the injury is, if I need a doctor, like I'll send them to a sports medicine doctor, just so that I can get a second opinion.
All right, Amanda Gilroy, congratulations on your award and best of luck in the future.
Thank you.